Hello, everybody. Welcome to Relentless Talk Radio. We are talking today with Brandy Lawson from Fiery FX for our DigitalEvolution series. And today we're talking about the infamous messengers. And we just have to weigh in on the hats today. Okay, I'm getting my lighting here situated. So Brandy and I thought in the beginning of this series that we would do hats every day, every week, just for the fun of it, right?
Yeah, Gary,
never did you realize how much fun this would be. So my new assistant went out and got me this hat. I mean, maybe I should turn it this way. I mean, it's just...
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. Now you can really see it.
It's just a riot. It's just, I actually think that I should wear this hat all the time. Just saying. And look at, you know what these are? They're feet.
Yeah, really, it does have legs. It's a flamingo.
So, I mean, I'm not sure how to get the hat completely in there, but is that hilarious?
It's
so we
super nice.
I was just in Palm Springs this past weekend, listening to my friend Mickey Seven, his band, the oh my gosh, it'll come back.
I can't even help.
Anyway, it's the Crows. I'm gonna have to look them up while I'm talking because I'm having menopause brain. But I was in Palm Springs, so what we have here is an accidental Palm Springs theme. Where you're the rich housewife, you should have some booze with you. You're drinking a martini.
Oh, I really should. Like it. I'm feeling like I really should have had that. Yeah. When I put this on, I was telling you earlier, I was feeling. I thought it was like a fortune teller vibe. So I found the earrings. I just thought I'll lean into it. Like
right. Hilarious, right? So I think it's perfect. We have a Palm Springs thing, and I think I'll keep it so you can kind of see what's going on here. So we had to find something interesting to talk about, something as benign as Messenger.
Well, I know. I think Messenger actually could be kind of divisive. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people wish it never existed. But the truth is that it does exist, and in some cases it does work. And actually, that's a great sort of segue into talking about the role of messenger streams, particularly in your overall marketing. So like, how have you been using those in the past?
You know, I've been torn about Messenger, right? Because, and I've got to, oh my God, my friend Mickey has posted a lot since this weekend. I love him. I will get to that in a moment once I keep on scrolling. But I really love the idea of being able to communicate easily with people without having to find their telephone number and their email. However, one of the things I dislike about Messenger is there is zero organization to it.
So you use it pretty frequently and you have direct conversations there, but you struggled with the fact that it's kind of like a text message on your phone where there's just like no organization. It's just by the last message you sent.
Yeah. And so what happens is I get lost in the shuffle of, you know, what's happening with where we left off. And then also if somebody gives me information and I want to get back to it, it's really hard to find it again. So I struggle with that. I also struggle with getting like a bunch of stuff from people that are like videos and crap that I'm never going to watch. So I was just going to put it out there. People, I didn't have time to pee today. So I don't have time to watch your benign video that you're sending me. And although I really love that you're thinking about me, I would prefer that you send me something about you personally, or ask me how I'm doing, or talk about business, or just about anything, but to get either one, a political video, two, some kind of sexual innuendo video. Those are my least favorite. Just so you know, guys, not a turn on to get one of those. And just a general, you know, a cat video. Like I love your cat and I would like to spend more time with your cat, but I'd rather you invite me over for dinner and let me pet the cat than watch a video of a cat.
So yes, so I think that this is kind of where the usefulness versus it's just a bunch of noise and that kind of thing comes in. So, and last time we talked about groups. So how have you been using messenger streams differently than you use groups?
So I do have a couple group messenger streams. However, I only use those group messenger streams when I have a very specific reason to interrupt people's life.
So to your point, groups are more passive. I can control notifications. It's a place where we're all coming together and having a conversation in a group. A messenger stream is more, I really think it's more analogous to like a text message in that it's more interruptive. That's something I usually use for one-on-one, kind of like DMs and Instagram, but you can have group messenger streams. So this would be for something like that's time sensitive.
Yeah.
That's really important. That needs more attention than just a post in the group. Sometimes I've seen messenger streams used to reinforce things that go up in a group, especially if it's around an event or very time sensitive.
100%, because people are getting, the overwhelm is real. And so my team, okay, I have several teams that I work with, and my health and fitness team, I do have a group for them. And there's another couple groups that we're involved in, and I find them to be distracting. But at the same time, it's really good to be tapped into that greater energy of the group on a real-time basis, right? So what happens with that group is when I invite my team members to be part of those messenger streams that I'm not in control of, I warn them, hey, listen, there's a lot of activity in this group because people are texting and commenting from all over the world in this group. And so someone could be in Australia and it's morning for them and it's evening for us, and they could be texting. So make sure your notifications are turned off on those groups, that messenger groups that are happening all the time, people reaching out and saying, hey, I have a problem, solve this, right? So like a forum kind of activity there, because you don't want your phone to be dinging all night long and not sleeping. So you turn your messengers off on that and make a schedule once or twice a week to go into that group and to look at what's going on there so you can stay on top of it. Or if you're having a big question, you can't get a hold of me and you want to ask the collective group, it's a really great place to do it. And then you can just make sure that you're paying attention to the group when you have a need. But I think that if you have these messenger streams where people are, maybe they just have a little more time on their hands than you do. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean that nicely. You know what I mean? Like, there's people on my health and fitness team that are retired and they've taken up a side gig on the side, and they have plenty of time to talk about cats and stuff. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. But for me, I haven't got time to be interrupted every 30 seconds all day long. So I make a plan around that it's important for me to be part of the collective. However, I need to manage my time on that. And I also encourage my team members, hey, listen, we want this group to be effective. So if you're having like sidebar conversations, step off the group, go into your own messenger stream, pick up your phone and do a message and have those types of conversations.
Yeah. So I think that brings up a really good point about messenger streams, is that they are not for everyone that's using Facebook. I think that you need to have a really specific reason to use them. I think that you want to be very intentional and careful about using them. And I also think that they're misused a lot. So you want to understand the context of the person on the receiving end. I like that one. And messenger streams can be helpful. Like if you've like gone to a page, you've seen the ability to send that page a message and then you can get an answer back. So if you've got a restaurant, messenger streams can be really helpful for FAQs. If you have some automated answers in there about like, where do I find your menu? What are your hours? Do you do delivery? Messenger streams with some automated entries can be great for that. Also, I think the retail use of messenger streams gets kind of obvious because it can give people quick answers and quick access. I think with service businesses, you want to be more careful because you don't want to disrupt your community building by being too interruptive.
And you bring up a good point. I liked someone's business page the other day and I got an automated response. And the automated response was created in a way that it was looking conversational, but it wasn't. And you know how I knew that? I had just given them the answer to the question they were asking in the automated response. And so I felt behooved to say, hey, listen, you might want to rethink that, because you basically just let me know that you're not paying attention to your messenger.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see how it would happen, because the automated response came across because because I liked their page, or I sent them a message. But rethink how you're automating those messages, because someone could have given you the answer to your question like I did, and then you get it was interesting to me because it turned me off right away.
Yeah. Yeah. So thoughtful. I think that maybe our rule of thumb with messenger streams should be thoughtful. Like, be very thoughtful and intentional about what's happening, how you're using them, and know that if you're trying to really build community, groups are the right place. Messenger streams are much more for time sensitive information, urgent type things, and be careful how often you're using them.
Yeah. And I definitely use Messenger one-on-one with lots of people, right? Because, I have collectively 15,000 followers. It's hard to have all those people's emails. So, I will reach out with folks and just I use Messenger as a relationship builder. Because there's nothing worse, and LinkedIn, not part of this conversation, but LinkedIn is one of my pet peeves. When I get a message from you, we don't know each other, you don't know my business, you have not checked out my profile, and you're sending me something to buy your widget. And by the way, I actually sell your widget, so we're in the same business. And it just, to me, it automatically excludes you from someone that I want to network with or do business with. I think sometimes we get into copy and paste and automate, and we forget that you're actually dealing with a human. And so you want to make sure that you're being very intentional about how you're using things.
Yes. I think back to intentional, for sure. So is there anything that you are going to be changing in how you use messenger streams as you evolve, specifically when it comes to your health and fitness brand?
I think the big change for me has been to be very careful about group messaging. To be very careful about it. And I'm assuming that over time I'll have other developments, but I think I'm pretty stable now that I'm kind of been using Messenger more.
Yeah. And I think the other thing worth mentioning here is, much like DMs on Instagram or messages on LinkedIn, remember there's a person on the other end of that thing.
Right.
If you're sending them a message, you're trying to engage with them in conversation. So make it something worthwhile. If you're going to choose to do that. Otherwise, again, it's social media, not broadcast media. Don't be using message. A poor use of messenger streams is to broadcast a message to a bunch of people. So also, if people are not in a group already, be very, very careful about group messenger streams. That's the fastest way to put it.
That's the point. To the point, like, I let people know in an independent messenger, hey, by the way, because you're a health and fitness professional that has been on Relentless Talk Radio, for example, I'm going to place you in this messenger stream, and I'll let you know in advance that I only use that messenger stream for urgent discussion or urgent opportunity. You're welcome to use that messenger stream if you have an urgent or interesting or amazing opportunity that you want to let the group know about. And I very rarely use the messenger stream. I know what's interesting is, on the few times that I do use that messenger stream, I usually lose a couple people off the stream.
Oh yeah, well,
I don't want to be bothered. You know what I mean? I get that. And at the same time, I feel like it's important still to have the messenger stream, because there are urgent times and people aren't always looking at their groups. I have the notifications set up on my groups too. I have a time block where I go through and I look at my groups. Like, looking at my groups is like a waiting in line at the grocery store experience.
Right?
I kid you not. Like, I use every second, right? So If I'm waiting in line for somewhere, that's what I build the viewing of my groups into little gaps in between. And if I try to make sure that I've done that twice a week, and if I don't, I'll take time out on Saturday to go peruse. And every once in a while, I'll look at all the groups that I'm in on Facebook and decide if I still want to be in them or not.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. And that includes messenger groups, and it includes groups.
Right.
So just kind of reevaluating where your time is going, because, it seems like we have all this time because we're all at home with COVID, but I think that this morning, my day, poof, right? So it's amazing how we have more time and we have less time. So it's just very important to make sure that we keep people on track as far as time is concerned. So the good, better, best on this, I've kind of have the idea for me, I'm really I think I might be in the best use of this tool at this point. However, as I use it more often, and as Facebook changes functionality, and by the way, Facebook, if you're listening, please give us a way to organize our messages. I would really love that. Because there's really no way to go, and I've given up on deleting stuff because you can't just go check and delete like your email.
Right. You can't just like select all or select a few or like multiple select and get rid of it. Yeah, I know.
The other thing about Messenger is that if you're on Messenger, it's not public, but Facebook is monitoring what you're saying on Messenger. So you can use a secret Messenger if you're definitely wanting your discussion to be private. I don't know. I think my sensitivity on this stuff has gotten to be pretty low at this point. However, I don't know, if you have Siri on your phone and you haven't turned off Siri dictation on your phone, then anybody can be listening to you from your phone. So by the way, if you don't want to have, like, you're talking about pedicures and all of a sudden you see pedicures coming up on your Facebook feed, it's because Facebook is listening to you. Your phone is listening to you. So turn off your Siri dictation thing. So you can't go, hey Siri anymore, but I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? But
yep.
I don't really believe that we have privacy anymore.
No. Yeah. I think one of the most valuable things I took away from my time at GoDaddy was from their security training. And like the thing that I still use today with clients when I talk is that convenience and security are opposite ends of the spectrum. If it is secure, it's wildly inconvenient. And if it is convenient, it's probably wildly insecure.
Right.
You can't have both.
Right.
So just understand that, hey, the Hey Siri thing is really convenient, but there's a trade-off.
Right. And, I don't think Messenger intends to take your private, I feel fat today, I cried all morning conversation that you're having with your girlfriend and like is going to spew that across the world. The reason why Facebook is paying attention is they want to sell you stuff. So you might all of a sudden get a lot of Kleenex commercials on your, you know what I mean? You might get, commercials about therapy, and honestly, right? So, just be aware that Facebook is not necessarily, they haven't got a bunch of guys in a room, like listening, like, a covert operation, but they are tracking the words that you're using and how often you use those words. And they are giving you advertisements that are going to be tailored to those words. Like, I'm going to get pink flamingo stuff. And I just happened to put pink on today. This wasn't even a plan. I just happened to put pink on.
Oh.
Yeah. So we have a tool. We give everybody a tool every week about what we can kind of recommend. And I can't wait to hear what you're saying about Otter.
So I was actually reminded of this earlier today. Otter AI is an app for your phone, and it will do basically recorded dictation. So it will record you, and then it will transcribe all of that. And then you can copy and paste that into things. You can put it in an email. So I like to use it personally because when I'm moving, that's kind of when my brain's working well. So I will put my earbuds in, I'll turn on Otter on my phone, and I'll go for a walk, and I'll like talk through something. Like, okay, I was going to think of this, or like I will just like use it as a verbal brainstorming session. Or sometimes when I'm like brainstorming for my team, okay, well, I'm thinking about this, blah, 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 blah. I will just turn on Otter and go for a walk, and it will record. So you'll have the actual recording, but it will also transcribe everything. And then I'll share that with my team so that they can be like, they can hear the context, but then they can also be like, oh, we'll copy paste this out and make an email out of it, or this is a post, or we'll use this at the beginning of a document for blah, blah, blah. So I find it to be wildly convenient because I like to move and talk.
That is a really good one. I love when I find things that, time is the most important thing you can give somebody because you can't get it back.
Right.
The things that allow me to save time, huge, right? So,
huge.
I've hired a bookkeeper to do the reconciliation of my books now. I've hired a admin to do our YouTube and Instagram television and Anchor FM. Hopefully this month we'll be going to podcast, crossing our fingers, right? Because taking those things off my schedule and giving them to someone else to do, and I'm at that point where I can actually, hallelujah, start to do that. I found the right solutions, right? And the right situations to make that happen.
Right.
But anything that you can do to create more time, which for me is to be focused on the things that are going to make me money, which is prospecting and creating content that is going to draw attention to my thing, right? Whatever the thing is that I'm doing. So me, content creation and prospecting and delivering direct service to my team is where my time needs to go. So anything that I do that can automate, offboard, delegate, prune, delete. I just got done deleting a bunch of crap from my life. It's amazing how much more time I have. And it's not that I have more time. I could just do the things I was putting off or not getting done by getting rid of that thing, right? So learning and automating and delegating, huge important for an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And a mom who's homeschooling her kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those moms out there, if you're listening, you entrepreneurial, crazy nut job moms, Jesus, hang in there, sisters. I have so many people like Brandy in my life that have got children, and I'm amazed that we haven't had any more, reports in the news that children have been murdered. And I'm joking. I'm really joking. Don't take me seriously. I'm wearing a pink flamingo. Okay. But it's really, really tough on people right now that are having to multitask in ways that they hadn't before. So kudos to you, Mom.
Thank you.
And kudos to the kids. I mean, they want to be back in school. Crap.
Right.
They want to be with their friends and doing stuff.
100%.
Yeah. So Brandy, any words of wisdom?
I think from this is know that messenger streams are part of how you can engage with your audience. Be very mindful and intentional about how you use them. And don't abuse them, because that's the thing. And they will probably also change, will continue to evolve as Facebook evolves, as technology evolves. I don't think Messenger is ever going away, but I do expect to see its role continue to change.
100%. So if everything we just said just confused the crap out of you, and you're like, I don't even know what Messenger is, or what is she talking about, and why is she wearing a pink flamingo on her head, then you can just go to meetwithmick.com, and Brandy and I will meet with you and give you a free consultation about your digital evolution, as the case may be, or even maybe you're starting to think about even the thought of getting digital. Maybe you're just accidentally popped along this Facebook thing and you're like, what's going on? So you can go to meetwithmick.com and you can get a consultation appointment with Brandy and I. Just make an appointment and we will give you a buzz, or we will Zoom you and we can get on the line with you. And next week we'll be back. Not next week. It's the third Thursday. We'll be back.
Yeah, let's not move this month along too fast.
Yeah. We'll be back again, and we'll be talking about something else fantastic. And so, just put that on your schedule. So I think that's the rest. That's our story. We're sticking to it. This is the end of Digital Evolution, an entrepreneur's guide of evolving online. This has been episode 12, where we're going to talk about messenger stream updates with Brandy Lawson from Fireway Effects. Thanks, Brandy. You rock.
You're welcome. We'll talk Instagram next time.
I mean, come on. How cool is that? See you later. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.